Hey guys, it's Ihasnotomato here, welcoming you back to Ihasnotomato Responds. You guys seem to really like the last episode, so I guess I'll do another one. And hopefully more even, I don't know. So today's topic is an interesting one for me because I've been thinking about this video for an incredibly long time. Basically today I'm going to be talking about my FOV, which might not sound very interesting at all for many of you, but it's something that I'm, I don't know, passionate about, I guess. It's been on my mind a lot, basically. The reason it's taken me so long to make this video is because it's taken me so long just to decide how I want to do it. I've thought about doing anything from mentioning it on Twitter to making a little parody video of it, to even straight up even just leaving it as like a footnote on another video. Fun fact about the last video, I was going to talk about it in that video, but I ended up cutting it out because it just, I don't know, it didn't really work there, and I really wanted to just give it its own little video. The thing about this subject is there's a little bit of history behind it, and I really just wanted to make a video that's just calm, cool, collected, and just describe a little story about what's happened to me and my FOV in Team Fortress 2, the video game. Because I really just wanted to come across as sincere as possible. I don't want to come across as bitter or sarcastic or anything like that. I just want to tell it like it is. I thought this new format of video making might just be damn well perfect. Also, I'm trying a slightly different style of editing to what I did last time, so you guys can let me know what you think about that. So let's get right into it. So why am I making a video about my FOV and why does it matter so much? Well, let's take you way back to when I first started playing Team Fortress 2. Now I know I bring this up quite a lot, but I started playing TF2 in I believe 2009, and when the game first came out, it was really one of my first-person shooters. And as a result, I had no preferences on what I liked in a first-person shooter. I just used the default everything because it was fine for me. Back then I don't think people gave too much of a fuck about FOVs and mid-maxing how much they could see on the screen or anything like that. It was just like, hey, you know, let's just have fun, whatever, doesn't matter. And you know, that's just how it was. Now I'll be the first to admit, I am somewhat of a victim of habit. I definitely am. And when it comes to things like my settings, unlike many other people, I just left mine default. And essentially it stayed that way for years and years and years. Until pretty much only a few weeks ago, I'd say. The thing is that I never looked at it and thought, this is annoying, or this is giving me a headache, or I really want to change this in order to make this optimal for myself. I just played the game, and through years of practice I thought, you know, I'm getting pretty good at the game. I never really thought or felt that, you know, it improved my gameplay. I thought that I, you know, played pretty well how it was. You know, it never distracted me, never bothered me. But of course, you know, I played thousands of hours of it like that. You know, I'm used to it. It's just what I'm used to seeing. It's my settings. It's just, you know, it's just a part of my Team Fortress 2 experience. Same with using the default HUD as well, which I will also say right off the bat, I do actually have a personal preference for it. I do like the way the default HUD looks, but that's a topic for another day. And for years, I didn't even think about my FOV. It wasn't until years and years later that I started making YouTube videos did people actually start pointing it out. And even years on later from when I started the channel, I guess really only in the last year or so when my channel's really started to catch on, have more and more people notice my FOV. Like I said, before any of this, I didn't even think about it. It was just a thing where some people had their preferences, I had mine, whatever. But as more and more people have started to watch my videos, more and more people have started to comment and stuff like that, I started to notice a bit of a growing trend. And that was a lot of comments. I would say that just about every single TF2 video I make nowadays often, if not always, has at least one or two comments saying, what's up with your FOV? And that is definitely at least, by the way. There are some videos I have where there's just a string of comments that say that. What's up with his FOV? Or something along those variations. That's probably definitely the most frequent comment that I've gotten on my channel. Sometimes these comments can be really nice, people just asking me directly, hey, can I ask, why do you have your FOV this way? At which point I'll reply to them and say, well, you know, it's just my personal preference, it's how I've used it. And other people, to say, put it lightly, can be not so nice. But either way, there were tons of comments, and there still are to this day. Now the thing is that I'm not one of those huge big YouTubers that don't have no time to read comments. I do. I read every single one of my comments. I might not reply to all of them, but I do read them all, I can guarantee you that. And I'm always looking for feedback and stuff to improve my videos. And when I found that number one thing that people were pointing out was my FOV, I started to think, well gee, should I change it? When I started thinking that, I consulted some of my peers and people that I know and asked, should I change my FOV for these people? And they said, maybe not. And I started to think to myself, but I don't really want to change it. Why should I? My thought process was, well, I'm the one who's actually playing the game. I'm the one that's recording the footage. I'm the one who has to actually, deal and manage with these settings. So shouldn't my settings be tailored to me? I mean, sure, I'm making videos for you guys, but I'm also making them for me. I like to have fun when I make my videos. I don't want to change my settings to something I'm uncomfortable with and therefore make the experience of making videos less fun for me. So I started to take a bit of a stubborn approach to it. I thought, these are my settings, I'm the one that's recording, this is my channel, and this is how the settings are going to be. And for a fair few months, that's how it stood. But of course, as you might imagine, more and more of these comments started to appear more and more often. Now, it eventually got to the point where I ended up getting so many comments in one day, and some of them being a little bit too mean considering the subject matter, that I finally somewhat snapped. In a moment of admitted frustration, I made a poll on both the YouTube community tab and Twitter to ask people once and for all how much they really cared about my FOV. Unfortunately for the community tab side, I did word it a little bit harshly, implying that people who didn't like my FOV consequently also didn't respect my personal preferences. And I'll admit I regret saying that, and I do want to apologize for that. But from these polls, I realized two major things. Number one was that the majority of people actually don't give a single shit. And if they do give a shit, they're just happy that I'm happy. So what gives? Well, this was first of many realizations that I learned through this escapade, and that is that people who leave comments on videos are a minority. That's something I've always known, but I've never truly felt it until now. Something that I felt like so many people cared so vividly about due to how many comments I got about it didn't actually represent the majority of my viewers, which was a bit of an eye-opener and kind of a sigh of relief. The other thing that happened was on Twitter, where Harry G2002 commented, "I'll be honest, Tomato, I played with the same FOV for about a year and a half. My mates told me to change it because it wasn't very nice to look at. So I did, and TF2 never felt better. My recommendation is like 70 to 90. I think I use 70, but I haven't checked it in ages." And that comment really resonated with me. The reason being is that someone actually saw it from my perspective. Someone had been through what I had been through, so that person was able to nicely recommend it to me, while also understanding where I was coming from. And so I've started amping it up bit by bit, just to sort of ease myself into it a bit. And I've even amped up my Viewmodel FOV to 90 or whatever the max is. But I still had a thought in my head. Am I giving the haters what they want? The people who just go into my comments to complain about my FOV, have I submitted to them? Well, I later realized something else. I found some other people on YouTube who were also receiving comments like this, but unlike me, their FOV and Viewmodel FOVs were higher than mine, and yet they still received those comments. So what's the point of this video? What's the lesson of the day? Well, it's, to put it quite frankly, the old adage of haters going to hate. Now, I know this video might have sounded very roundabout and somewhat just me apologetically talking to myself, but it was something that's been on my mind for far too long and something that's been bothering me for far longer. I know, of course, making this video isn't going to stop people from talking about my FOV. In fact, if anything, I'll probably just encourage people to talk about it ironically. And I say so be it. But I just kind of wanted to address this to you guys. What is the deal with my FOV? Why it has changed now? And a little bit of a story that happened in between. Now, as for my FOV as it currently is and for the future of it, I'll admit I am definitely enjoying a higher FOV. It's taken a little bit to get used to. It did make me a little motion sick at first, which by the way was something that some people mentioned was looking at my FOV made them a little bit sick, which to them I say it's a bit vice versa for me. But I'm adjusting and I'm enjoying it. Would I say that my gameplay's better? Not necessarily, but hey, you know, it's nice to change things up every now and then. Now, will I change it to higher than what it is, say, in this video? Probably not. There definitely gets to a point where I start to really dislike how far the FOV goes out. But yeah, basically, end of the day, everyone's got their own preferences, and it's nice to change them up every now and then. But yeah, anyway, I have been Ihasnotomato. Hope you guys enjoyed this video of Ihasnotomato Responds. Like I said in the last video, let me guys know if you have any topics or something that you'd like me to discuss. I still have a few others that I want to talk about myself, but you know, there's that. And I will always love you. I can't sing.